Storms, and in just days live on the WWE Network, we will see the son of a legendary luchador step into the ring for the very first time in a sanctioned match against the Monday Night Messiah, where there are no rules. And we will see two matches, yes, two matches in which the Golden Role Models must defend both of their titles against the Empress of Tomorrow. And in the main event, an Apex Predator goes up against the Scottish Psychopath for the world crown of Monday Night Raw. But before it is time for the Golden Role Models to defend their titles, before it is time for the Psychopath and the Viper to come face to face, before it is time for SummerSlam, it's time for the rundown! Thank you guys so much for tuning in to yet another video right here on YouTube.com. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known. Wait for it, to mankind! This is the official rundown for WWE SummerSlam 2020, which of course is streaming live on the WWE Network on Sunday, August 23rd, with the pre-show starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I would like to thank each and every single one of you for tuning in to yet another special video here on YouTube.com, the greatest YouTube channel in YouTube history, of course. And, as of course, I am not alone. I am not alone because I have with me new content creator, newest member of the DJ Storms posse, lifelong wrestling fan. Please help me welcome, for the very first time ever on the DJ Storms channel, Jessi Calynn. How are you?
Hey, I am awesome, and I'm glad to be here. Yeah, so I'm good. How are you?
She's trying way too hard. No, just kidding. I'm doing great. I got my new Drew McIntyre shirt on, repping the WWE champion. As per usual, I got this on Wednesday when me and my friend Michelle, we went to Garden State Plaza. I got this at Hot Topic. You know, that's a cheap plug right there. I better be getting paid by Hot Topic to do this. But anyway, so you've been keeping up to date with the build for SummerSlam, I assume. Is that right?
Of course.
So, let me ask you, are you genuinely excited for SummerSlam? Because I ain't.
I am, but that's because I am a hopeful person for everything that I watch, even if it's not always as good as I would like it to be.
My optimism died a long time ago. But anyway, got an ice cube right there. See, yeah, I never truly know what I'm gonna get with this Ernst & Young mug right here. But anyway, we're not gonna waste any time right here. We're gonna get straight into the matches. But first things first. I need you to follow me on Twitter, on the Twitters, at HistoryMakerDJS. Follow me on Instagram and Periscope at TheDJStorms. Add me on Facebook as well for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page on Facebook, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms posse group on Facebook, that is. Here's what I need you guys to do. I need you guys to go check out the rundown for NXT TakeOver 30, if you haven't already done so, with special guest TM161, one of the best rundowns that I've ever done. The link is in the description. One of the most successful rundowns I've ever done. I think it's almost at 50 likes. You guys absolutely killed it there, so I need to thank you guys for that. I also need you guys to hit the thumbs up on this video. I have goals to reach. We'll see if this can do better than the rundown for TakeOver 30 with TM. We'll see, we'll see. I have faith. Like Jessi has faith in SummerSlam. I don't have faith in SummerSlam, but I have faith in this video. Of course, I gotta have faith in myself here. I hear you laughing. I hear you laughing there, Jessi. But here's what I need you to do. Like the video if you haven't already done so. I got goals to reach. And when you like, you got to keep that chat alive, and you got to comment down below. Because that way it sparks up the conversation. And when you comment down below and you keep that chat a-rolling, you got to hit that subscribe button. Because I'm trying to grow here. And when you hit the subscribe button, you got to hit the notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it is the best time to be on YouTube. It is the only time we're going to get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combination and this beautiful mustache right here. We already know. We already know that everybody wants a piece of the Storm's Meister. But anyway, enough of the chit-chat, enough of the self-brand promotion. We're going to get straight into the matches right here. So the first match that me and Jessi are going to dissect here is the Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza. Now, before I say my piece on this match, Jessi, how sad is it that we have a Raw Tag Team title match on the show, and the main storyline of this match is a poisoning angle?
Well, it's kind of funny because I actually didn't think that she had poisoned them. So then I was just like, oh, she did poison them. Okay. But yeah, no, it's... I mean... really, honestly. I don't have much... I haven't given this match as much thought as I probably should. Yeah, I don't even know who I think's going to win this match. I haven't decided yet. So... that's where I am with this match, that's where I am.
I mean, for me, it's a pretty clear cut. It's a clear cut winner here between Andrade and Angel Garza. There's no way that they can lose here. Street Profits, they've held those titles long enough, and the Street Profits, they've had a terrible reign as champions as it is, simply because of the fact that WWE has pretty much spat in the face of tag team wrestling. That's obvious right there, so we don't really need to dive too much into that, but I'm going with Andrade and Angel Garza to win the Raw Tag Team titles. There's no reason for the Street Profits to win. They need to focus on Andrade and Angel Garza, and the tag team division, it really needs to be revamped. They need to do a shakeup after SummerSlam. I believe the rumored shakeup is in October. They need to do a shakeup. They need to flip around some tag teams. They need to start putting more of a focus on tag team wrestling. Will they do it? Probably not, because Vince McMahon is an absolute idiot, and he doesn't care about tag team wrestling. I mean, he doesn't care about the majority of what we're getting on television. I mean, what else is new right there? But as far as this match goes, no reason for the Street Profits to win. The only thing I can hope for in this match, the build has been atrocious. The build has been absolutely atrocious. It's been terrible. The only thing that I can hope for in this match is that Angel Garza and Andrade come out victorious and we get a decent tag team championship match. If I was them, I would have this match kick off the show. Give them 15 minutes, 18 minutes, somewhere between that time. Let them go out there and wrestle. Give us a match worthy of SummerSlam, and that's about it. That's pretty much all I can say about that. Give them to Andrade and Angel Garza. You need to revamp the Street Profits, because right now the Street Profits are one of the worst acts on Monday Night Raw. They are the definition of cringe, and it pains me to say that, especially with how good they were in NXT. But that's where I stand. Jessi, would you like to add anything?
I think I agree with you on who wins, actually. I hadn't thought about it yet because I'm still writing down my notes on these matches because I'm slow.
She's behind.
I do think that, I'm always behind. I do think that Angel Garza and Andrade is going to win because by my knowledge, triumph over them on Monday. I don't even remember.
We had Montez Ford. I believe he beat Montez Ford beat Andrade.
Yeah. As the people who get beat on the go-home show win the pay-per-view. Not always, but a lot of the time. So that's where I'm going.
That's one thing that really needs to change about the weekly shows, but that's a different story for a different time. So we're Angel Garza and Andrade across the board right there, people. We're moving on to the United States Championship match between Apollo Crews and MVP. And I'm going to ask, for the second pay-per-view in a row, or what was supposed to be the second pay-per-view in a row, why is MVP, the manager, getting a U.S. title match over his clients, Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley? If MVP was brought in to enhance people like Bobby Lashley, like Shelton Benjamin, why is he, at 46 years old, almost 50 years old, why is he in a championship match on the second biggest pay-per-view of the year? Hey, Vince McMahon, we want to push new talent, is that correct? Apparently not, since you're pushing Montel Vontavious Porter. Anyway, losing my cool there for a minute. I hope to God, I hope to the good Lord that MVP does not win the United States Championship. If he does, then that's it for Apollo. If he does, then that's it for Apollo. Back to catering you go. And it quite frankly sucks because Apollo, he's a main event level talent. He's a guy that you can build a brand around. It's really going to get under my skin if MVP wins the U.S. title. I don't expect him to. I actually thought that we were going to get Bobby Lashley versus Apollo Crews at SummerSlam, but apparently they're redoing MVP and Apollo Crews after we already got the match on Raw 3 weeks ago. Based on everything, I don't see MVP coming out victorious, nor should he come out victorious, no matter what. I do see Apollo Crews getting the win here, and I do see Apollo Crews potentially going on to face Bobby Lashley at the next pay-per-view, probably Payback, and it would fit right into what I said earlier in the summertime. I don't think Apollo Crews makes it out of the summer with the United States Championship, which sucks. And if he does, I would expect him to lose it to someone like an Ali or Buddy Murphy, but apparently Vince McMahon has apparently given up on Ali, which I'm going to rant about tomorrow on the Lightning Flash update with Earl Cole. I have a feeling that Earl Cole is watching right now. But that's a different story for a different time right there. That's a different story for a different time. But I'm going with Apollo Crews to retain the United States title. No reason for MVP to come out victorious, nor should he come out victorious. Jessi Calynn, what say you?
I agree with you completely on that. Like, the whole entire thing with MVP, I don't get why he's still wrestling. You know, like, I was seeing him the same way as you were, as an enhancer for the other talent, you know, because, yeah, he's good on the mic, but I don't take him seriously as a competitor. He's an old gas bag at this point.
You didn't just say old gas bag.
I totally said old gas bag. I think as I see it, man. And I don't know. I don't take MVP seriously, so if when I'd just be angry. I'd just shake my head. Like, why?
Whoa.
So
wait. So if MVP wins, you're shaving your head.
I said shaking my head.
I heard shave. I heard shave. Looks like you're going to shave that rock star haircut you got. You're shaving the rock star haircut you got.
It's too beautiful. I'd be sad if I shaved my rock star haircut.
So you're going with the Apollo.
I'm with you, Apollo. Yeah, he should win. He needs to win. He better win. And that's all.
So that's all we got for the U.S. title match. So we're moving on to the Raw Women's Championship match here between Sasha Banks and Asuka. I guess we could talk about Sasha Banks and Asuka, and then Bayley and Asuka in the same, I guess in the same period, in the same time frame. Now, here's something. Do these matches happen back to back? Yes or no?
I feel like they should space them out, personally, but maybe they don't. If it's back to back, it's kind of like, I mean, Asuka doesn't even get. I also think that Bayley's is going to happen first, so. And so this is later on, but that's my thoughts.
Okay, so here's something that we need to here's something that we need to acknowledge. We need to acknowledge the fact that both of these matches, they are SummerSlam-like matches, and they are quality-type matches, but this does not excuse the fact that both of these matches have already happened twice before each. The first two times that we saw Sasha Banks and Asuka, we had two horrendous endings, and nobody was talking about how great the matches were. Everyone was complaining about the endings, which were terrible. And then we already seen Bayley and Asuka twice, and Asuka has already beaten Bayley twice in two non-title matches. So why is it that we're going to care about either of these matches a third time? Really doesn't make any sense right there. Now I can only hope that we actually get two great matches with two good endings, so that we won't have to take our attention completely away from the match itself and focus solely on the ending, because I've said it once and I'll say it again, the ending is perhaps the most important part of a match. If you do not get the ending correct, no one is going to focus on the great match that we got. It happened with Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio. They put on a great match at Extreme Rules. No one discredited the match. No one was complaining about the match. Everyone complained that the ending was stupid, which it was. It was horrendous. It was absolutely horrendous. Same thing with Sasha Banks and Asuka, and the same thing with Bayley and Asuka, minus the endings, because the endings that we've gotten for Bayley and Asuka haven't been bad, but it's just that we've seen the match twice before. Now we're seeing it again. Asuka is now taking a spot away from Bayley, not from Bayley, taking a spot away from other women who have actually worked to get that spot. Bayley and Sasha holding all the championships was supposed to make the division better and give more opportunities to others. Instead, now they're just pushing Asuka. Vince McMahon constantly pushing the same people. And yet he wonders why so many people complain about the women's division. This is why the women's division and the WWE as a whole is not going to get better. The only thing I can hope for is that we get two decent championship matches. Now, as far as the outcomes go, I don't know what's going on, but something tells me that they're already starting the breakup with Sasha and Bayley. Something tells me that we are going to get Bayley retaining her title, and Sasha Banks is going to lose her title back to Asuka, in which I will say, if you were just going to put the title right back on Asuka, why did you put it on Sasha Banks to begin with? Now, they could have Sasha retain. They could have her drop it to Shayna in the fall. And to be quite honest, I would much rather see that. That could happen. We could have Asuka win the title, and then Asuka would drop it to Shayna. I at least hope she'll drop it to Shayna. Specifically because Shayna Baszler is well overdue for a Raw Women's Championship reign, especially after she got screwed over at WrestleMania when she didn't defeat Becky Lynch to win the championship. But we got Asuka defeating Banks. Bayley retains the championship, and I don't know why, but something tells me that Sasha Banks and Bayley are going to lose the Women's Tag Team Championships at Payback, which is happening next next Sunday. Next Sunday. I almost said next Saturday. But next Sunday, August 30th, that is when Payback pay-per-view is happening. I do believe that no matter who it's against, I do believe that they are going to be losing the tag team titles. I believe it may be against Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan. They're going to lose the tag team titles, and then we're just going to be left with Bayley having the SmackDown Live Women's Championship, and then they're going to build a story around that. Which I thought that they were going to wait until WrestleMania. I thought they were going to wait till WrestleMania 37 to do that, but apparently they want to do it in the fall. They're probably going to do it at a B-level pay-per-view. They'll waste it at a B-level pay-per-view, and that'll be pretty much that. But they have completely ruined the entire women's division by not giving more women opportunities. WWE, Vince McMahon specifically, is getting in the way of Sasha Banks and Bayley making the division better and enhancing the women's division. Because Vince McMahon, he doesn't care about women's wrestling. All he cares about is making money. And the only reason why he pushed women's wrestling all the way back in 2018 and 2019 was because Ronda Rousey was there. And Ronda Rousey, whenever Vince McMahon looked at Rousey, he saw huge dollar signs. So there's that. There's that. I would be surprised, I would be genuinely shocked if Sasha Banks and Bayley make it out of SummerSlam with both championships. I expect Bayley to beat Asuka, and I expect Sasha Banks to lose to Asuka. So I wasted how much time did I wasted about 5-6 minutes ranting on that. But Jessi, let me get your analytical stance on this.
My analytical stance is still analyzing the situation. Anyway. Still, yes, it's confusing. So I don't know. You're debating on how I think this plays out. I think that what you just said makes the most sense. Honestly, I could see, that maybe Bayley wins and Sasha probably helps her win, and then Sasha loses, and Bayley probably is part of what screws it up, and then so the split finally happens. But I'm getting tired of freaking trying to predict that split because I've been trying to predict it since WrestleMania. So yeah, but I mean, the other thing, they could decide to make Asuka win both titles, and then she goes and loses one to Shayna later on, or something like that. There's several different angles that I could see happening with this. So I'm just trying to, put it all together in my head.
Now, some people have been saying that they could merge the divisions. Do they merge the divisions should Asuka win both championships, or are we going to get a triple threat match?
I've thought about the merging of divisions, but I haven't thought about a triple threat match. I suppose it's a possibility. I'm still trying to decide if I think they should merge them or not. I think that they need to, like you said, give more women opportunities, and merging the division is probably a way to give less women opportunities. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know. I'm still trying to think about all that. It's weird to me.
Well, that's the thing. What they need to do is they need to get that draft, and they need to put a decent amount of women with talent on the show. Because you take a look at the SmackDown Live Women's Division, outside of Sasha, Bayley, and Naomi, who else? Who is there that you can really say is a quality women's wrestler that you could build the brand around? No one. Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, they're getting there, but in no way, shape, or form are they there. Sonya Deville, I believe after SummerSlam, is going to be on her way to being at that level, but they have not shown as much investment in Sonya Deville as they should, especially with the stipulation for the SummerSlam match, but we're going to talk about that later on. We'll talk about that later on, but as far as the women's division goes, they should keep them separate, absolutely. They should keep them separate, but what they need to do is they need to start building up the women on the show as legitimate contenders. Legitimate challengers, legitimate champions. I mean, you take a look at Bayley. Bayley has lost. Bayley's tapped out as champion at least twice in the last 3 weeks. Some champion you got there. Bayley's the SmackDown Live Women's Champion. She's losing in non-title matches, which should not be happening as it is. But that's another story. It really is confusing. I really don't know where this is headed, but what is your final prediction? Who's walking out of both championship matches as champions? I predicted Asuka's going to win against Sasha, but she's losing against Bayley.
Yeah, I think that we're in agreement on that, actually. On Bayley, and that's that she's been the champ, cheating to win just as long, so it's kind of hard to say, hey, she's an awesome champ. I get that that's what they do with the heels, and heels always cheat to win or whatever, but yeah, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I agree with you. I think that at least Sasha's going to lose and Bayley's going to win.
So moving on from those championship matches, we'll talk about one of the matches in which the build's actually been fairly decent. This match between Dominik Mysterio and Seth Rollins in a street fight, which, again, as I stated, the build's actually been fairly decent. It's been fairly decent. We've had some great back-and-forth promos with Joe and Seth Rollins, Samoa Joe, that is. And I'm not sure what's going on here. It's almost making me believe that Samoa Joe could be on his way back, and we could get Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe going into the fall. That could be Samoa Joe's return program. Will they push him to beat Rollins? I don't know, because WWE has treated Joe like I can't even figure out the words to explain how poorly that they've treated Samoa Joe ever since he came up to the main roster. Treat him like crap. But that is the feud that I believe that they've been teasing over the course of the last few weeks with Joe standing up to Rollins. It seems as though they dropped the Murphy angle, because I did report a few weeks ago that Murphy and Seth Rollins was an emergency backup plan for Seth Rollins, and they could very well have booked Murphy to go up against Seth Rollins, but it seems as though over the past few weeks they may have dropped that storyline. Now, they could pick it up again. They could possibly pick it up again at SummerSlam, but right now I've seen no signs of it. It seems as though they're continuing the Rey Mysterio, Seth Rollins storyline. I'm not sure if Dominik Mysterio wins and that's the end of it. I do believe that Dominik could very well win. Dominik Mysterio is going to win, and he is going to tie the series, in a sense, at one apiece, because Rey lost at Extreme Rules, so that would only mean that Seth Rollins would have to lose here, and it will be one apiece. And then, more likely than not, we're going to see Rey Mysterio come back, probably at Payback or Clash of Champions. I'm guessing it's going to be Payback, considering that Rollins and Mysterio, it would fit the theme of the pay-per-view. So we get Rollins and Mysterio at Payback. Dominik Mysterio, I do expect to win the street fight. I do expect this to be one of the best matches of the night. Matter of fact, this is one of the two matches that I'm actually invested in, specifically because of the work rate alone. Because Seth Rollins, no matter how dumb he is in interviews, and let me tell you something, he is an absolute moron. He is an absolute moron, one of the dumbest individuals on Twitter right now. So he's an absolute moron when it comes to interviews, but he is very, very, very good in the ring. He's great in the ring. He's one of the best wrestlers employed by the company. I do believe that he's going to make Dominik look great. This is definitely a big match for Dominik. We should get a very innovative street fight, and I do expect Dominik Mysterio some way, somehow to come out victorious. We could get Mysterio and Rollins at Payback. I do expect Mysterio to then win that match. We do get a happy ending, and then we possibly get Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe leading into the fall. So, Jessi, I'm going to throw the ball over to you. What do you got to say about the street fight?
This one's a hard one for me. I enjoyed it as well, and I love street fight matches. So yeah, but anyway, from a storytelling standpoint, I 100% agree with you. It makes sense for Dominik to win based on what we've already had and what we've already seen, and at the same time, part of Seth is still going to win. And if Dominik did win, I think, it'd probably be something along the lines of where, like, his dad or something.
I'm sorry, you cut off there. Can you repeat that? You cut off there. Could you repeat that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I said that I think that if Dominik does win, there's probably some sort of interference from his father that helps him win. But yeah, I don't know. I think once again, this is a case. I think Dominik and Mysterio triumphed on Monday. So if I'm going from that, I think Seth wins on Sunday. But storytelling-wise, it makes sense for Dominik to win. But I'm still going to go with Seth.
So, do we get Mysterio versus Rollins in a rematch at Payback, or are they going to wait?
That's hard. I don't know why Payback's even there, but it must be there for some purpose that I'm not aware of. I think if Dominik loses, then Ray probably comes back and goes up against Seth at Payback. That might be the case, but I'm not totally sure because I'm not sold on that idea in my mind.
So, what do you see happening in the fall? Do you see Samoa Joe and Rollins going into a feud, or are they going to pick up on the Murphy angle? And do we get Murphy breaking away from Seth Rollins and Murphy going on his own into a feud with Rollins?
I think either one of those ideas are good ideas, to be fair. Because I did see that a few weeks ago. And I think that if they did that, it'd be rare. I'd watch it. I think they're both awesome in the ring. But I'm also all for if Samoa Joe is returning, I would totally love to see him versus Seth, and I'd love to see him be.
I'm sorry. You cut off. You cut off again. I'm not sure what's going on. I think it may be the connection on my end. Could you repeat that?
What did I even say? I said that I would love to see Samoa Joe versus Seth in a feud that I hope Samoa Joe would win. Yeah. That
makes more sense.
So it's saying some kind of both.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
Said there wasn't anything about to cut out because I forgot the rest of my thoughts.
Oh. I'm sorry for those of you watching right now. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties, but we pretty much got the gist of it there. So, more likely than not, do we see while both of those ideas are good ideas, do you see Murphy facing Rollins, or is it going to be Samoa Joe? I see Samoa Joe, since that's what they've been building towards the last few weeks.
I think that we're building towards Samoa Joe and that Murphy with Rollins for a little while. They might bring up that other feud a little bit later on, but I have a feeling Samoa Joe is starting, working on coming back to the ring right now. Yeah.
There's been reports actually that he's on his way back, so it would make sense that he's going to a feud with Rollins. Moving on.
It can continue from months past.
True. Moving on here. Braun Strowman, or Bald Strowman, as we can call him now, versus The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, for the Universal Championship. I've said it once and I'll say it again. Please do not let the build fool you. The build towards this match has been awful. The entire program between these two has been awful. The Swamp match, the Swamp fight, if you want to call it a fight, the match was 25, 30 minutes, and there was 7 minutes of actual fighting. Between Strowman and Wyatt, Strowman was fighting a couple of unknowns. The Swamp fight was awful. The match at Money in the Bank wasn't anything special. And they've been building to this for months now. They've been building to this for months. And there's only one saving grace. There's only one saving grace of this entire program and match. And it's the fact that Braun Strowman's no longer going to be champion. Braun Strowman has been terrible as Universal Champion. Braun Strowman has not made that title prestigious in any way, shape, or form. Braun Strowman has been undoubtedly one of the worst Universal Champions out there, right next to Goldberg, and Rollins. And that's not even Rollins' fault. It's not even Rollins' fault there, but Strowman undoubtedly has been one of the worst Universal Champions. Hell, every Universal title reign has been terrible. Even Kevin Owens, because he was never booked like a legitimate champion. He was booked like a jobber, because he could never defend the title on his own. The entire reign of Braun Strowman has been terrible. The program has been awful. Awful, awful, terrible, horrendous, atrocious, garbage, trash, every possible negative word in the English dictionary that I could possibly utter. It's been bad. It's been bad. There's only one saving grace, and that's the fact that The Fiend is going to win the championship. If he doesn't, The Fiend is dead. Well, The Fiend's already dead. The Fiend's already half dead because of the simple fact that he lost to Goldberg. So The Fiend's mystique is gone. Little to no one looks at The Fiend the same as they did last year. You take a look at what happened last year with The Fiend. Everyone was on the edge of their seat waiting to see what The Fiend was going to do next against Finn Balor that year at SummerSlam. And what happened? What happened? I'll tell you what happened. What happened was The Fiend ran into Seth Rollins and they gave you undoubtedly the worst Hell in a Cell ending ever. And then The Fiend ran into Goldberg and they buried him in 3 minutes. There's that. So I need to take a sip of my water. Give me 1 second. I hear you chuckling, Jessi. I'll let it slide only because you're a sweetheart. Only because. So The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. He wins the championship. What's next? What's next? Well, based off of everything, the next logical explanation would be for him to lose the championship to Jeff Hardy. Now, I don't know when that's going to be. And to be quite honest, if they are going that route with Jeff Hardy, I would do it at WrestleMania. I would do it at WrestleMania 37, but for some reason, I really don't think they're going to do that, and I don't think they're going to have Jeff Hardy win the championship because supposedly Jeff Hardy is not signing a new contract. They could do Big E. They could do Big E. I do expect Big E to go into a program with Sheamus for the time being, and then we get Big E. We get Big E beating Sheamus, and then beating a few more people, and then eventually getting to that opportunity. He gets to the Universal Championship, and we do get a match between Big E and The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. That should be an interesting clash of styles. I don't expect Big E to win, nor should he win. The Fiend should not be losing that championship until next year, and should he lose the championship next year, I hope to God it's not to Roman. We don't need Roman coming back after all these months and then getting thrusted into a Universal title match. At least not as a babyface. Because Roman Reigns as a babyface, a complete flop, a complete failure. But I don't need to go in depth. I don't need to go in depth on that. As far as this match goes, just get it over with. 3 minutes at most. If it goes over 3 minutes, it's a failure. Get the title off of Strowman. Get Strowman off of TV. Put him on the unemployment line. Trust me, that's a hell of a lot better of a position for Braun Strowman than as the Universal Champion. Put the title on The Fiend. Afterwards, I don't know what happens. They could do Jeff Hardy. They could do Big E. They could do Matt Riddle, but it's way too early for Matt Riddle, especially since he just lost to AJ Styles. He already has a loss on his resume on SmackDown. Let's get the title off Strowman. Bray Wyatt wins. Jessi, the floor is yours.
Okay. Gee. Brilliant thoughts. That's because I am a Bray fan. But I don't have too many thoughts. The title as well. I know you want him to win just because I'm a fan.
I mean, I'm a fan of Bray Wyatt too. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I love Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is undoubtedly the most creative mind in the modern era right now in professional wrestling. I love Bray Wyatt, but WWE has not presented Bray Wyatt in a meaningful light. No matter which character he's playing, whether he's playing Mr. Rogers, whether he's playing the Eater of Worlds, or whether he's playing The Fiend, they have not presented Bray Wyatt in a meaningful way. They have constantly treated Bray Wyatt horribly. You take a look at everything that they've done with Bray Wyatt. Every single time he has been put in a prime position, they always find a way to screw everything up and completely kill all of his mystique. That's my problem. It's not Bray Wyatt himself. I love Bray Wyatt, and I want to see Bray Wyatt succeed, but WWE has completely killed all the mystique surrounding the Fiend character. That's just how it is.
It is frustrating, isn't it?
You think? I mean, I swear to God, I swear, I'm telling you right now, if I was to sit here and rant for an hour, 2 hours on the creative disarray that the WWE's in right now, I'm telling you, there would be a vein popping out of my forehead right here, and I would be red in the face, flaming red. I'm talking about a baboon's rear end red. So, continue what you were saying. I'm sorry to interrupt you there.
They own it. I want to see the Fiend win the match. I personally, because I enjoy ring psychology, I personally prefer it to last longer than 3 minutes. But either way, as long as he walks out the winner, I'm satisfied with that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I do commend Bray's ability to create story out of all the stuff that WWE tries to screw him over with.
I mean, they've tried, but no matter what happens, the Fiend's mystique is already ruined. Who do you see him facing after SummerSlam? That's one question I'd like to ask.
I think that he's still going down the line and trying to get revenge on all of his past peoples. Part of me could picture it being the title, and then for Survivor Series, since it's champs versus champs, he could go up against Randy Orton, who I think should win as well. Or could win. That's my thought on it, because then that's up for the feud between the two of them. That's quite an inevitable feud that, we all expect to happen. That's my thought, but I do think that feud should happen on the stage as well, so...
Well, if they're going to do that, they don't necessarily need the championship for that. And trust me, we'll talk about Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton in a little bit, but they don't necessarily need the championship for a Randy Orton-Bray Wyatt feud. If you want to do the feud, then fine, but if you're going to do the feud, then trade Randy Orton over to SmackDown and have him feud for the Universal Championship instead of doing champ versus champ, because if we're going to be quite honest here, Drew McIntyre should not be losing the WWE Championship until next year's WrestleMania. And it shouldn't be to Randy Orton.
You're right.
So, we're Bray Wyatt across the board here. You got any more thoughts to add on this match before we move on?
None that I can think of.
So we're moving on to Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville in a hair versus hair match. And just by that stipulation alone, I am automatically turned off by this match. And I have stated numerous amounts of times on numerous amounts of videos, you have Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, and the best stipulation you can come up with at SummerSlam of all shows is hair versus hair. Hair versus hair. Think about this for a minute. You have a feud that's been going on since WrestleMania. And you have a feud between two women that want to rip each other apart. And the match itself is a normal match. It's a normal match. But the loser gets her head shaved. So, you're telling me you couldn't have done a no-holds-barred match? You're telling me you couldn't have done a falls count anywhere match? You're telling me you couldn't have done a last woman standing match? All three of those options would have been great options for the blow-off. It would have protected both women. Both women would have looked great. Sonya would have gotten the win. And we wouldn't have had to sit here and watch one of these women. One of these women is going to be wrestling bald after SummerSlam, and I'm supposed to take one of these women seriously wrestling bald after SummerSlam. Something tells me, I don't know what, but Sonya Deville realistically should win here. Sonya Deville should win because she's the next in line to step up to that next level, which I hope she gets to that next level, if WWE will at least allow her to get to that next level. But Sonya Deville should definitely win here. Sonya Deville undoubtedly should win. But something tells me that because it's hair versus hair, something is telling me, especially since Sonya Deville already beat Mandy Rose twice, something is telling me that Mandy Rose is going to win. I don't want Mandy Rose to win, nor should she win. Sonya Deville should realistically be the woman who wins and gets enhanced. And that is why I said it should have been a no-holds-barred match, a false count anywhere match, or a last woman standing match, because it would have made both women look great. Sonya Deville could have taken the win, and no one would have gotten their head shaved bald, because seriously, who is going to take either of these women, whoever loses, who is going to take either of these women seriously bald? Who's going to take them seriously? The hair versus hair concept is one of the most outdated concepts in professional wrestling right now. It should be nowhere near the main promotions. I'm talking about WWE, AEW, Impact. It should be nowhere near. But something's telling me, I really don't want to say it, but something is telling me that Mandy Rose is going to win, because Sonya Deville has been getting the upper hand over Mandy Rose every step of the way. Even though Sonya should win, something is telling me that Mandy Rose is going to win. I don't know why. How about you, Jessi?
Well, to be fair, it makes sense.
I'm sorry,
after,
you cut off there again. I'm sorry, could you when you're speaking, just double check your headphones or something like that. I'm not sure. Again, I apologize, everyone, about the connection issues. Try again.
There's nothing to check on my headphones. They're Bluetooth. They're on. They're connected, so I don't know why I keep skipping and doing that stuff. I just try to stay close to the phone and hope that it comes through clearly.
True.
But anyway, in my mind, it makes sense that they would make Mandy win just because it's a whole face versus heel scenario, and like you said, Sonya's been dominating the whole way through. So, yeah, and I agree that it would look really weird, one of them being bald. I think they both look better with hair. But at the same time, I stipulations because I'm weird, so whatever. But yeah, because it's hair versus hair, I think it's a dead giveaway that Mandy's more than likely winning. Because out of the two of them in real life, I just feel like Mandy's the one that's less likely to go around bald. But hey, I could be wrong.
I don't know. I really don't know. They've done a decent job with this feud all year. They've done a decent job, but realistically speaking, this match really shouldn't even be happening since Sonya already beat Mandy Rose twice. But here we are, and if they were going to do it, they could have done a much better stipulation than hair versus hair. But we both got Mandy Rose here. We're gonna move on to a match that has not been confirmed because all of you're watching this before SmackDown. This is a match that has not been confirmed. Now, it could be confirmed for SmackDown. It's going to be Matt Riddle and Baron Corbin. I'm not sure if they're having this on SummerSlam. If they do, more likely than not, it's going to be on the kickoff. So, this has not been confirmed, but I do expect it to happen. If so, I really don't have too much to say about this match. Makes absolutely no sense for Baron Corbin to come out victorious. I hope Matt Riddle comes out victorious, and I expect Matt Riddle to go into the fall, and more likely than not, I hope that we are going to get Matt Riddle facing off against Styles once again, and Matt Riddle is going to take the Intercontinental Championship from AJ Styles. Really nothing more to say about this match. Matt Riddle wins. How about you?
On that, I think that Matt Riddle should win as well. It's kind of funny because boring Corbin is just that boring, and I didn't even remember that they were feuding until you just mentioned it, and I was like, oh yeah, they are sort of feuding, aren't they? Totally forgot about that.
Yeah, they've been feuding for a while.
Corbin annoys me.
He annoys everyone. He's been terrible.
I just totally forgot. It's a forgetful thing every time he's in a feud because I want to forget about it.
I'm telling you right now, WWE and Baron Corbin had a lot of potential too, and they destroyed it all when they made him the Constable. They made him the constable, they made him a general manager-elect, and they made him a king, and he's looked like a complete idiot. Looked like an idiot. The Lone Wolf was his best character. When he was United States Champion, that was when Baron Corbin was at his peak. And they didn't push him. They didn't push him any further than a United States Championship. Which sucks for him, because he does have the potential to succeed. He had the potential to be a world champion at one point. And they didn't do it. Of course they didn't do it. But now he's the king. Now he's Burger King Corbin. Now he's Burger King with a side of Burger King chicken nuggets with barbecue sauce. There you go.
Hungry. I haven't eaten anything yet, man.
Well, then why? Well, you gotta eat. You gotta eat. Can't starve yourself. I understand a lot of people are going through these quarantine weight loss programs, but you gotta eat. I'm trying to go through a quarantine weight gain program because I need to gain some weight.
Gain weight.
I do. I'm literally what was it? I'm like a tree. Imagine a tree with twigs as tree arms. Like, I literally have twigs for arms. Twigs for arms and legs. I am a lean dude. I need to put on some pounds.
Yeah. I need to put off some pounds, so... But that's not why I haven't eaten. I just haven't gotten to it.
Yeah, I know. I'm just joking. But anyway, we kind of got sidetracked there. We went from Burger King to weight gain and weight loss. Only on my channel, people. Only on DJ Storms' channel.
Yep.
All right. Anyway, we're going on to the main event. Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. This has undoubtedly been the best built match towards SummerSlam. Randy Orton has been the best built character on WWE television all year. Randy Orton's been doing some fantastic things. Now, this is a match that really could swing either way. You could have Drew McIntyre retain, you could have Randy Orton win. And apparently this is going to be the you'll never see it coming match. And I already ranted on you'll never see it coming yesterday on the rundown for TakeOver. But I do expect this to be a great match. I do expect this to be a great main event. I do expect this to deliver in every sense of the word. McIntyre's been great. Randy Orton's been great. I expect this to be a really good main event. You give these guys 20 minutes, 30 minutes, they're going to tear the house down. They're going to absolutely tear the house down. As far as the winner goes, I said it once and I'll say it again, Randy Orton does not need the WWE Championship. He doesn't need the WWE Championship because he's already an established man, and I've compared Drew McIntyre and the reign that he's been on to what Rhea Ripley was. Rhea Ripley, and she had all this momentum before she ran into Charlotte Flair, and she was buried by Charlotte Flair. Now, being defeated by Randy Orton in a great match, that's not going to be getting buried. It certainly won't be getting buried. McIntyre will be fine. But the legitimacy that McIntyre has, it should really be used to build up a new star. That's why I said that they should build up Aleister Black to win the Royal Rumble and then defeat Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania 37. Now, I would not be surprised if Randy Orton wins, and I'm not really going to complain if Randy Orton wins, but I am going to be questioning the decision, specifically because of the fact that the feud with Edge does not need the enhancement of the WWE Championship. Randy Orton already has his work cut out for him when Edge comes back, and based off of everything, Edge could be coming back at the end of September. So why are you going to give the WWE Championship to Orton just to be put in a feud with Edge, and Edge wins the WWE Championship? I would have McIntyre retain here McIntyre retains. He can go into a feud with Kevin Owens leading up into Clash of Champions. He could face off against guys like Rey Mysterio. He could face off against a guy like Edge for the WWE Championship. That would be great. And then he could face off against Aleister Black at WrestleMania 37, and Aleister Black wins the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 37. Plain and simple right there. That would be a much better decision than having Randy Orton go in there and pretty much take away the legitimacy that McIntyre has right now. I would use that legitimacy to build up a new star in Aleister Black. And I've said that numerous amounts of times. I would have Drew McIntyre retain the championship here. Randy Orton does not need to win. If you want, and Jesse, if they do want to have Randy and Wyatt feud, then you can have Randy Orton get drafted to SmackDown, and they could have a feud between The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and Randy Orton on SmackDown for the Universal Championship. There's something right there. How about you?
Well, I don't disagree with that. I think, I personally think that I hear my echo. I need to remove my headphones. Okay. I think that, now I gotta regather my thoughts.
So you were talking about McIntyre. You were talking about McIntyre, and you said you didn't disagree with the fact that McIntyre should retain.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Because I kind of feel like, either way it goes, I wouldn't exactly complain. I know I said earlier, Randy went, and I do think, like you said, there is a legitimate build happening here. But I also kill a lot of momentum that McIntyre could potentially have if he lost. I think McIntyre wins, because once again, Randy dominated on Raw. So, yeah. And I'm okay with the idea of Randy and Bray feuding without them both having titles, only because I think that story is the one that needs to be told with delicacy and takes time, I don't think it should be rushed. And yeah, that's what I think on that.
And I'm not just saying McIntyre should win because I have his shirt on. Just pointing that out there, people. But anyway.
I love McIntyre. Either way for me.
This is Claymore country. This is Claymore country, Jesse. Anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of The Rundown. I'd like to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into this video. Please like, comment, subscribe. As always, turn on the bell for all notifications. Check out all the links in the description. Tomorrow, me and Earl Cole will be going live Saturday at 1 p.m. before TakeOver and Dynamite, where we got 4 weekly shows to go over, and we got a lot of news and rumors to talk about, including Rusev saying that Vince McMahon told him that the fans were mocking him when they were chanting Rusev Day, and Vince McMahon constantly holding Rusev down. Of course, we also got a report on, what else do we got? Oh yeah, a report that Vince has given up on Ali, which we're going to talk about tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Jesse, before we get out of here, where can they find you on social media?
Okay, I have a lot of different places I can be found. On Twitter and on Instagram, I am at JCalynNArt. That's at JCALYNN Art. And I'm just my regular self on Facebook, but I don't ever post about wrestling on there, so I don't see a point in following me on there. Actually, going to follow my art page. It's also at Jessi Calynn Art, is what that is. And I have a YouTube channel. It is called Calynn Corner. Oh, that is called Calynn Corner. So if you type it in, very easy to find. So I got it like that. Yeah.
Well, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
From Jessi Calynn, and I will put all of her social media links in the description. Please go check her out. Jessi Calynn, DJ Storms, and this has been The Rundown. I will catch you guys tomorrow for the LFU, live LFU at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. You guys have a great day.